The opening of the Russian figure skating season in the form of closed test skates had barely died down when popular podcasters were already sending negative comments from America. Dave Lees, a journalist and host of the Skating Lesson podcast, expressed his opinion on the decline in the level of figure skating in Russia. Did Putin cut funding for sports, or are skaters losing motivation? The level has really dropped. I have never understood why Russian coaches think that staging a fake ballet program is good for a skater who is terrible from an aesthetic point of view. It has the opposite effect. Very few skaters are able to perform a ballet program. Cohen, Bale, Ilanik, and Catherine Healy come to mind, said blog author Dave Lees. On September 14-15, the Russian national figure skating team held test skates in St. Petersburg before the 2024-2025 season, where the country's leading athletes performed their programs. Olympic silver medalist Alexandra Ignatova TRUSOVA returned to her competitive career after a 2-year break and performed at these skating events. In her short program, she performed a number to the music of Besim Macho, and in her free program, to the composition They Beat Us, We Fly. And in this message to Russian figure skating, there is a clear line on the obligatory mention of the name of the president of Russia, because such an approach will clearly collect more clicks. The emphasis is also placed on the word fake. Any use of this concept also draws on the scandalous perception of the audience of a popular blog. And the author of this opus discusses the decline in the level of figure skating in Russia, hinting at women's single skating, where the girls, in fact, had their first serious training. This is not even a small start of some local tournament. You can't expect cool elements or ultra C performance at the highest level from athletes who have just started to get into the season. And they themselves don't need to take risks. Yes, there were mistakes by the Russian champion Adelia Petrosyan, which caused some commotion in the world of women's singles, but all this can be fixed, and already in the next performances, Adelia will cope with her nerves, and give an excellent performance. Yes, Alexandra Ignatova TRUSOVA, who has returned to the big game, is not the height of perfection yet, but then again, she never promised anyone this. Everyone is getting used to the ice, getting used to it, trying to feel the competitive atmosphere again. And, of course, it was extremely advantageous for the American journalist to overlook the brilliant performance of Mark Kondratyuk at the test skates. We remind you that the season in Russia has not yet officially begun, and this wonderful single skater became the first Russian figure skater in men's skating to perform 5 quadruple jumps in one program: quadruple Lutz, quadruple flip, quadruple toe loop, triple and double axel cascade, quadruple salchow in a cascade with a triple toe loop, and triple axel in a cascade with an Euler and triple salchow. By the way, in men's skating, only American figure skaters Nathan Chen and Vincent Zhu and Japanese figure skaters Yuzuru Hanyu and Shoma Uno have performed 5 quadruple jumps. In women's skating, Alexandra Ignatova TRUSOVA still holds the record. Great Russian coaches reacted ambiguously to these attacks. For example, Tatyana Tarasova believes that the level of Russian figure skating, on the contrary, has increased. The level has not dropped, but on the contrary, it has grown. That's how it seems to him. Are our skaters losing motivation? Nothing of the sort, we are not losing anything. Maybe Dave Lees would like it that way, but he has no choice, Tarasova told Seprosport. Legendary coach Alexei Mishin also disagreed with the American blogger's arguments. Is Russian figure skating degrading? This question does not require any knowledge or intelligence. It is clear to everyone that our figure skating is in good shape now, and everyone can answer this. Any fan in person who follows figure skating will confirm this. Everyone knows that our figure skaters are in good shape now, and every person who loves this sport will answer this question without any analysis, Mishin told SPORT24. Alexander Zhulin. TRUSOVA needs motivation. If she finds it, then no one will think it's too much. Zhulin believes that the motivation for TRUSOVA could be admission to the Olympics. The ideological transformation of Alexandra TRUSOVA over 2.5 years is impressive in a good way. I hate this sport, I will never go out on the ice again. I have accepted everything that is in my life. I want to try to come back, I'm interested. Yes, perhaps the comparison of those Beijing emotions that accidentally got on the air with a fresh calm interview is not entirely correct. But what was said both in February 2022 and the day before is still the result of her reflection, what she experienced and thought over many times. Interest won out, at least for now, for the test skates. Not the desire to prove, to win more, to jump as before and as much as before, but the interest to just skate. Without obligations and title goals. And this may be the strongest and healthiest fuel for Trusova, who has not yet made a decision. But she is about to. From the start of her adult career, she was driven by ambition, which, of course, is normal and correct for any athlete. But gradually, accumulating silver and bronze, Sasha seemed to have acquired an obsession. Everyone has gold, but I don't. This is exactly what spilled out on Terry Tutberds in Beijing. Who knows, maybe this is partly why in the fall of 2022, already in Svetlana Sokolskaya's team, things did not go well for Trusova. Perhaps the Olympic wound has not yet healed, the obsession with a big victory has not gone away, and the road to international tournaments is closed. Sasha certainly didn't want to multiply her losses at domestic competitions, and she disappeared from the competition. Now we have a different Trusova. A new life that none of her potential rivals at the Grand Prix live. Trusova is already 20 years old, she is married, has achieved success in sports, show business, and even just in business, and has provided for herself. And there are still a lot of projects ahead. In this scenario, training, competitions, and trips to stages, in Sasha's own words, no longer look like a tool for achieving goals, but rather like a romantic outlet. Especially with a new philosophy, the refrain of which is humility, relaxedness, and a complete understanding of oneself. I realized some things. I like skating. I value my achievements. Something has changed in me, I will no longer have pressure. What's more, she doesn't even care what the media calls her, Trusova or Ignatova. Both options are fine. Is it worth seriously worrying about the results in such a scenario? The presence or absence of a victory in, say, Krasnoyarsk will not change anything in Trusova's excellent resume. A new, old coach with whom you don't need to get used to, and with whom you have established a dialogue. Evgeny Plushenko will probably not lead Trusova to a big victory, just as he did not when she was close to her peak. But at this stage, he is ready to accompany her, not interfere, not impose. Yes, injuries and their consequences will not disappear. Trusova admits that skating has become harder than before. This is not said, but it is obvious. The 2022 Olympic form will also not happen. But this is not so important. What is more important is her curiosity and relaxed attitude, which have outweighed everything for now. And the test skates are unlikely to have stunned Sasha objectively. She is not bad, the quad is not that far away, and her endurance will improve with slightly more intense training. Yes, the body is different now, but endurance at 20 years old is developed her turn very easily. Moreover, Trusova does not need to be assembled from scratch. And then, perhaps, the option of the 2026 Olympics will arise. What if? If she is filled with the desire to skate, then the second chapter of her career can last for years. What if Trusova is the new Tatamasheva? In terms of status, experience, attitude to sport as entertainment and a way of self-expression. In the end, if you like to skate not only in shows, then why not do it? Russian figure skating will definitely be better off with Trusova than without.